because we've got the British pair who came back strongly in Varese, the Romanians who are the world champions, and the Swiss who won the European Championships. So, yeah, very tight one, I think.
In lane 1, Serbia, Milos Vasic and Martin Machkovic. In lane 2, Great Britain, Tom George and Oliver Wynne-Griffith. In lane 3, Romania, Sergiu Bijan and Maris Kosmuch. In lane 4, from Switzerland, Andrin Gulic and Roman Roisli. Lane 5 for Ireland, Nathan Timoney and Ross Corrigan.
Serbia, Great Britain, Romania.
And in lane 6 for Spain, Javier Garcia Ordonez and Jaime Canalejo Pazos.
So here we go. I think it's going to be very close. This one much, much harder to call. Whether this Spanish fast starting pair on the outside are able to get into it. We're seeing the Swiss home favourites. They were right in there with the British at the European Championships earlier in the year. I think they row really smoothly. I think they row really efficiently. And I will expect to see them right in it. We've also got an Irish pairing here, which is put together and were fantastic in the time trial. On the first day here, came second in the semi-final, so they're going to be right in it too, and I'm sure they'll be wanting to have a shout for a medal too. As we see that boat number 5 just coming into the picture, Ross Corrigan and Nathan Timoney just going through our picture, and they're right in this one, leading the Swiss at this point.
Yeah, fast starting Spanish there on screen, but they're looks like just struggling to stay with the speed of these boats in the centre of the course. The Irish looking really strong here in lane 5. They're currently the leading crew, coached by Niccolo Morogiovanni, son of the high performance director there, Antonio Morogiovanni. The Irish team incredibly strong and featuring in many of the A finals here today, but they're coming up towards that first 500 metre marker, and just with the narrowest of leads, it is the Irish. But really these 4 boats in the centre of the course locked together: Ireland, Romania, Great Britain, Switzerland, then Serbia in 5th and Spain in 6th.
Yeah, well, let's not write off the Serbians. They were 4th at the World Championships last year. We haven't spoken about them yet either. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them trying to force their way into this as well. But yeah, a great start from this Irish pair. As I said, they were fast in the time trial. They were in a 4 at the European Championships in Bled. They've gone away and they've worked to come up with new combinations, put this pair together, and here they are alongside those 3 fancied crews to their right. I'm sure they'll be delighted to be in there. As we look, I say, at this Swiss combination, looking there, Roman Roseley in the bow seat. He rowed for Oxford University, racing the British pair when they were at Cambridge University 2 years ago in the boat race. But it's now the Romanians who forced their way into that lead position. As we said, they were the winners at the World Championships last year. They're also going to be racing in the 8. So it's hard to know what they will have been doing, how they'll have had to work through the regatta. But they beat the British yesterday to get that centre lane. They rode through the British yesterday. Today the British have gone out slightly more conservatively, I guess. As you can see on those stroke rates, the British down at 36, as they have been from early in the race. So yet to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, the whole Romanian team, it's a really interesting tactic to have both the men and the women en masse doubling up, especially at a race like this. What do you think they're trying to do? Do you think we're going to see this at the World Championships, or are they trying to work out where to put their eggs in terms of the Olympic qualification basket?
Well, the Romanians leading there through the halfway, and as we say, I mean, they traditionally have done a lot of doubling up. They've used their athletes to try and win as many medals as they can, and of course that could be at the expense of gold medals. But it didn't harm them too much at the World Championships last year, so I can't help thinking they might do the same thing again here. As we're just looking at that Swiss pair, Just looking how relaxed they are, particularly at the finish of the stroke, the way that they just let the blades just pop out of the water.
We can
there
see
at the British.
Yeah, we see the British on screen there, Greg. Now starting to challenge the Romanians in this third quarter. To me, the Romanians look under pressure. They're up at 39 strokes per minute. The British still down on 37, as are the Swiss. I think the Romanians might be under a bit of pressure here from the Swiss and the British as they're coming up to the 1250 metre mark.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The fast-starting Irish have slipped off it. The Serbians still right up there on lane one. But yeah, the Romanians here are not the fastest moving boat on the water right now. The British are tracking them. It's a role reversal from yesterday, where the British got out and got a lead on Romania. This time the British have tracked the Romanians are looking to move.
It's interesting watching the Swiss here. They're very back-ended in their rhythm. It's not a traditional way that I would see people generally row the pair. The pair tends to be, as we're seeing here with the Romanians, a bit more upright in the bodies, a bit more forward-reaching, length in front of the pin, whereas the Swiss are really back-ended, quite short through the front, really sitting back on it. And now it looks like the Serbians are starting to challenge them potentially for the bronze medal here. But look at this fight going on at the 1500 at the lead of the field. It's still, I think...
Well, if anything, the British have forced it through. The British have just got their bow in front there through 1500. We're looking at the Swiss with that lean back, that long stroke. But as it is, it's a big move from the Serbians pushing their way into bronze medal, and a big third 500 from the British rowing through the Romanians. It'll be hard to imagine that the Romanians can come back from this as we're looking, because the Romanians have been higher rating throughout the race. The British are now matching them at 40 strokes a minute. So here they go. This is the big move. It's come in the second half of the race from the British. They've held back. You see it there on your screen, actually still down at 38.
It's been a really composed row from the British here. They've made a huge move, but the Romanians are starting to fight back now. They're up at 42. We know that the Romanians, they can go higher and higher and higher. So let's see what happens in these dying stages. Do the British have another gear to go, or are the Romanians going to come back through?
Are the Romanians just better at sprinting than the British? There's me saying it, that the Romanians will be gone. They won't be able to come back, having been up, having been rowed through. If you can then respond to that, that is a fantastic thing to be able to do.
The Romanians up at 44 strokes per minute. They're fighting. They're not letting this go. The British are gritting their teeth. They're up at 41. We see in the bow seat there, Ollie Wynne-Griffiths saying, go.
Here they come. They're bow ball to bow ball. The British are responding. Now they've gone for it. It's got to be 10 strokes, 5 strokes to the line now. And it's the British, I think, who've taken a little bit out on the Romanians. They're bow ball to bow ball. The Swiss are even coming back into it. And here we come to the line. Going through the line, it's going to be Great Britain by half a canvas from Romania. And the Swiss had a good last 500 to hold off that Serbian push. And then we see the Spanish and the Irish, who started fast, but ended up getting pushed off the pace. A great win there from Wynne-Griffiths and Tom George in that British pair.
Wow, what a fight there in the last 500. It's not often that you see a crew get rowed through in the way that the Romanians did, and then they just step up and fight and fight and fight. They couldn't get there in the end, but what an incredibly brave effort there to take the silver medal. It would have only been a couple of feet in it by the time they crossed the line. There was a good bronze medal there to the Swiss. It looked like they were going to be challenged by the Serbians, but they managed to hold their nerve to take that bronze medal.
And you see the mutual respect there from those two crews. The British have had it their way today. They'll be very pleased with that, particularly coming off the back of Henley Royal Regatta, where they competed last week. And seeing that win there for the British pair, just ahead of the Romanians. And yeah, that Serbian pair looked strong, pushing for the bronze medal, but it was the Swiss who held them off. I thought the Romanians sprinted really well. They used rate as their friend, didn't they?
So we see a bit of a replay here from the start. We spoke about the Spanish being really quick out of the blocks, and the early race leaders were Ireland, but that early effort from both of those crews turned out to be expensive later on in the race, coming in 5th and 6th, but it was these boats in the middle, Great Britain, Romania and Switzerland, who really came through.
And what I love about a pair is that you can play the tactics game, you can try and figure things out, and I guess that's what we're seeing here, that the British pair, yesterday they went and took an early lead and got rowed through by the Romanians. Today they looked like they were biding their time a little bit more, 36 strokes a minute through that first 1,000, and then they really looked to make it happen. At that little bit of land that sticks out here in Lucerne, and you can see what it means to the two of them there to resist that push that came back. Yeah, you can just see what that means.
Tom George and Oliver Wynne Griffith.
Tom George.